Jai Sai Ram. Welcome to Science Class, State Syllabus, 6th Standard. Chapter name is The Living Organisms, Characteristics and Habitats. For our better understanding, this chapter is made into 3 parts. In today's class, we are going to study part 1, that is living organisms and habitat. What are the points to discuss in this lesson are organisms and the surroundings where they live, habitat and adaptation, terrestrial and aquatic habitat, and the last is characteristics of organisms. And you all know that organism is made up of a tiny particle called as a cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of an organism, or we can say that cell is the building block of an organism. How the cells are grouped to form a tissue, and group of tissues form organs, and group of organs form organ system, and if all the organ systems are arranged, then results in an organism. Organisms are living creatures. Example, animals, plants, even the bacteria also comes under living organisms. See the picture there. You can observe how the cells are grouped to form tissues, and group of tissues form organ, and organs combine to form organ system, and organ system leads to an organism. This is the example in animals. If you see in the plants also the same thing. There are different kinds of living organisms in different locations. You all familiar that if you see in deserts we can see camels, and if we go to the aquatic habitat like sea and rivers, there the organisms are different. In this way there are different kinds of living organisms in different locations. Even living organisms are found in the openings of volcanoes. You all know that near the volcanoes the temperature is very high. Even though in such temperature also some bacteria can survive. That means we can see organisms near the openings of the volcanoes also. And even in inside and outside of our home also we will find different living creatures like cockroach. This is the example. You can easily find that different living organisms we can find in our home also. See the picture. You can see different organisms you can see in this, and they will live in different locations. There are different living organisms in different locations. Here we will see a few, like if you see in deserts we can see the camels, and in mountain ranges we can see goat and yak. In the beach we can see crabs. In the sea we can see fish. These are the few examples we have taken that we observe in these locations. In different regions, different kinds of plants are also found, because living organisms in the sense both plants and animals together we will say. So, in different regions, how we are seeing this different kinds of organisms, in the same way we will observe different kinds of plants also in different locations. And bacteria are omnipresent. Omnipresent means they are everywhere. See here in the polar regions, you can see this polar bear, and in the forest, elephant, lion, tiger, and in the mountain regions, you can see this. And different organisms you can see in different locations. Now we will move on to the habitat. After habitat, we will see what are adaptations. What is habitat? Habitat is nothing but the place where we live, and the surroundings where plants and animals live is called their habitat. In simple words, we can say that the place where organisms live is called habitat. Habitat means a dwelling place, that means a home. The habitat provides food, air, water, majorly shelter, and other needs to an organism. What does the habitat consist of? Means all these will be there, so it helps an organism to live in that place. Several kinds of plants and animals can live in the same habitat. If we see in the desert, not only camel, different organisms can also live. Even in the grasslands, not only the different animals like lions, deer, so many animals we can see in the same way, plants also. So, several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. Plants and animals are surrounded by saline water in the sea, because in the sea there will be more salt content. So in this way we can say that plants and animals are surrounded by saline water in the sea. And if we see exactly opposite to that, in the deserts there will be less amount of water, and the sea and the desert are different surroundings. If we see in sea, there will be large amount of water. If we see in desert, very less amount of water. These two habitats are quite opposite. And so naturally there will be different kinds of plants and animals live in these two regions. Example, in the desert we can see camels, and in water we can see fish. One example here we have taken. Different other organisms also we can see in these habitats. And next comes to adaptation. What is an adaptation? The presence of specific features and habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. For example, birds have wings, and these wings are adapted for flight. That means in order to live in that surrounding, it acquires or it adapts some features, particular features, and those features are called as adaptations. Adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling. And these adaptations are not same for all the organisms. It will be different depending upon the surrounding it is living. For example, the animals which are living on the land doesn't need any wings because they will not fly. And for the organisms which are adapted to aerial habitat, definitely it requires wings. So the adaptation of organisms differ depending on their place of dwelling, that is nothing but depending upon their habitat. That's why a fish cannot live out of water in the same way, and a camel cannot live in the sea. Certain features help them to live in surroundings where they found. See, this is a fish which lives in water. Now, we will see, as we have taken the example of camel which lives in desert, and now we will see what are the adaptations that camel had to live in the surrounding, that is the desert. The body structure of a camel helps to survive in desert conditions. The body structure of a camel has some adaptations which helps them to live or to survive in that habitat. What are those adaptations? Now we will see one after the other. Camels have long legs, and these help to keep their bodies away from the heat of the sand. And you all know that in desert the sand will be very heat. If at all the camel legs are short, it could have burned because of that heat. So in order to protect from that heat, camel has adopted that it has long legs. It has long eyelashes. Long eyelashes. How it is protecting means these eyelashes helps to keep sand out of eyes, and hair on back protect from sun. There is a hair upon the body and it is protecting from the sun's heat. See, if you see the camel, it has long legs, and these legs help to keep away the heat of the ground in the desert. And it has long eyelashes. It protects eyes away from the sand. And it has hair throughout the body. It has long hair and it is protecting from sun's heat. And another important feature in camel, you can observe a hump here. And see children, there is a wrong opinion that people will think that hump will store water in camel, but it is wrong. Hump stores fat. Why? Because in desert there will be a shortage of food. Sometimes the camels may not get food for a long time, so it will use this energy for the metabolic activities. So there is a hump in the camel which is storing fat, not the water. It has padded feet. See, it has padded feet, and this helps to protect from heat of the ground. And you all know that camel is also called as the ship of the desert because It stores large amount of water in its body. How it is storing? They excrete small amount of urine. Whatever the water it is intaking, it is not excreting out. Very little amount is excreting out in the form of urine. And their dung is dry and they do not sweat. After the food which is digested and it is excreted out. Even in the camels also the same thing happens, but the water content will not be excreted out. Water content is absorbed in the body and the dung is excreted out and it will be dry. In this way, it is retaining whatever the water it has taken. They do not sweat. And if we see human beings, we have sweat glands on our skin. And these sweat glands will secrete the sweat, and through sweat, whatever the toxic substances are there, those are excreted out. But no, that is not in the case of camel because it has to adapt in the desert habitat. So it doesn't have sweat glands and they do not sweat. And this is also one of the adaptation to retain water content. And the camels lose very little water from their bodies. They can live for many days without water. It can live for many days without water because of all these adaptations. Now we will see adaptations of fish to live in water. The body of fish is streamlined in shape. This shape helps them to move inside water. Fish have slippery scales on their bodies. And scales protect the fish and also help in easy movement through water. Upon the fish, if especially the fish is living in the saline water, upon the body there will be scales, and the function of the scales is it protects the fish and also helps in easy movement through water. Fish have fins and tails which help them to change the direction, to keep their body balance in water. See, here you can observe the gills, and the gills have gill slits. Slits in the sense some openings, and through mouth, see, it is opening the mouth and it is taking in water, and the water which enters inside the mouth of the fish consists of dissolved oxygen. And whenever the water enters inside the fish through the mouth, it here through the gill slits, again the water is coming out, and when it enters inside, the blood of the fish absorbs the dissolved oxygen, and when the water is coming out through this gill slits, it is taking out the carbon dioxide which is present inside the body of the fish. So these gills are helping in exchange of gases in the fish. In this way, certain features help them to live in their habitat. Already I said it has scales on its body, and this scales helps in the protection, and it has fins as well as the tail which helps in the changing of the direction of that fish and also helps in the balance of the fish in the water. And what is habitat? We have seen the place where organisms live, and there are two types of habitat. Majorly there are two types of habitats where we can see most of the organisms. What are those habitats? First one is terrestrial habitat. The plants and animals that live on land, which lives on land comes under terrestrial habitat. Example, forests, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountain regions comes under terrestrial habitat. Another major habitat is aquatic habitat. The plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitat. Example, lakes, rivers and oceans, etc. And there are two components in a habitat. Whatever the habitat you take, there will be two components. What are those two components? Now we will see. One is biotic components. Biotic, the name itself indicates, bio means living. Living components constitute biotic components, and the organisms, both plants and animals living in a habitat constitute biotic components. Another one is abiotic components. What are these abiotic components? Those are non-living things. Here in the biotic we have seen living things. In the abiotic, those are non-living things such as rocks, soil, air and water in the habitat constitute abiotic components. If we see in our environment, both biotic components and abiotic components will be living together. Always biotic components depend upon abiotic components. For example, if we take organisms or just take the example of human beings itself, can we live without air? Can we live without water? No, definitely impossible. So, we can say that biotic components always depend upon abiotic components. As already I said, adaptations means some specific features which are adopted in an organism to live in the surroundings. That is, it is a method by which organisms get well adjusted to the climate also. Already I told in the surroundings, that means it includes the climate. Adaptations does not take place in short time because abiotic factors of a region change very slowly. See, whatever the adaptations that organisms are adopting, those are not changed in a day, because for the formation of the earth, it has taken several years, and the biotic factors to form also it has taken several years, and if we take the abiotic factors, that also will change slowly and it forms a particular climate in that region. So, it is not a one-day process. It has taken place very slowly. That means adaptations in the organisms also has taken place slowly, not in a short period of time. The organisms which cannot adapt to these changes will definitely die, because if the fish is not adapted to live in water, definitely it will die. There is no chance to live. That is, the organisms will develop certain features to survive in that environment. The adapted ones only will survive. Organisms adapt different abiotic factors in different ways. This results in a wide variety of organisms in different habitats. Hope you all have understood this living organisms and habitat. Go through the textbook and write the answers for this home assignment. First question is, what is habitat? Second question, list out the biotic and abiotic components of habitat. Third question is, why the camels have long legs and padded feet? Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.